Hello there, good people of the world. Welcome to another Flight Sim Safari video. Tonight, we're here again on Papua New Guinea, and this is the third video of the series, which is not trying, but is reviewing the Highland bush strips packs from Ken Hall. So there have been a couple of reviews about this already, about all of these add-ons. I believe that some of these reviews were quite a bit too favorable from my perspective as somebody who pays money for these add-ons. So today we're taking a look at, we've done, you can find links below down in the description of the video to the first video and the second video, which we're covering Highland Bush Strips Packs 1 and 2. Today we're looking at Bush Strips Pack number 3. And it does consist of the airport Nomane, Kora, Guwasa, Meninga, Herowenaq, Gimi, and Simogu. Again, it's the price tag is at about 13 euros and $15 and all that. So we're going to take a look at whether it's actually worth the money. Since I have already spawned at the first airport of the pack, we're going to stay here for a second and use the drone cam to take a look around and see how good the scenery really is. And after that, as you can see, there's one flight plan that I have created to fly along a route that covers all of the bush strips from Ken Hall. So we're going to take a look at each one of them. The final destination for today will be, so this is the first one, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh airport. The final airfield for today will be Simogu. So we're going to fly the entire route to this until we arrive at this airport, and then yeah, that's going to be it for the third video. So we're ready to fly here. Let's me reset the Check IR camera, but we're not going to enter the plane yet. No, we will be entering the plane. So I can get this little tool here to switch the camera. Let's go to the I don't want the Check IR stuff. Let's take a look at the surroundings here. Obviously, this is another one of those, as you can see, nicely sloped runways. So there's only really one direction where you can land on this particular airport, which means you're going to have to come from here, then land upslope. So what kind of scenery do we have? Of course, the usual buildings. There isn't, it's a lot of recycling work. Again, we have the same textures for the guys here. And the chicken, and we have a couple of we've got a couple of huts here. It all looks okay as in the previous videos. I mean, there are huts, all kinds of different huts, but in the end, looking at what you get from the other places, the textures and huts are all the same basically. So there's also not a whole lot going on. As usual, no animations, no special Easter eggs. I don't know, the houses are empty. and all that. So it's not really as lively as it doesn't feel like a living place. I'm not sure. Mark from Simhanger, he was reviewing I think some of these airfields as well. He thought it would be realistic and would add some kind of it would add to the living world. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if he has seen something different than I have, but there isn't anything living here. There are just a static couple of 3D models of people. He's standing here but not moving at all. And you know, I don't mind that. I don't mind that these that there's not a whole lot going. Oh, this looks like the Bremer city musicians a bit standing. The guys standing on top of each other here. I don't mind that this is not really animated in any way, but then I would, if I'd known beforehand, I probably wouldn't have paid 12 euros for just a couple of huts and not much else. So, as in all the previous videos, I am a little disappointed when it comes to when it comes to the variety that you might get in these in these kinds of add-ons with different with more models for the huts and actually something living. You could just put a stall there, put some kind of place where pigs can move around. It's not really that difficult to pick up a 3D model that moves. It's also not, I would suggest that it's not difficult to put in a moving model here somewhere. I don't know. It just might add to the realism, and it's not that much work, I hope. So, yeah, there you go. A couple of tips for enhancing the scenery, really. Let's turn on the Kodiak. Let's get it up and running so we can take a look at the next airfields. Auxiliary bus on, but we're gonna turn off this here. Make sure the engines can get some fuel. We are at NG21. We can introduce the fuel. I'm gonna have to reduce the volume a little bit. Okay, NTT has probably peaked out somewhere below 700. I didn't really pay attention a whole lot. Turn off the auxiliary fuel pump, turn off the ignition, starter off, everything else is great. Prop full forward. Temperature is 15 degrees, no pitot necessary right now, but we're turn off the taxi lights. There we go. Okay, let's set the autopilot. So the next airport on our list here is Kora Airstrip, Alpha Yankee Oscar Zulu. Let's put it in. Alpha, man. Yankee. Oscar. Zulu. Here we go. Okay, we're gonna fly at an altitude of, I'd say, maybe 8,000, something like that, or 9,000. We'll see how it goes. With a vertical speed of 1200. We're going to fly nav. We're going to activate yaw damper. So that's all looking terrific. Okay, let's trim the nose for takeoff and lower the flaps to 20 degrees. Adjust the altimeter setting, and we're ready to go. Nomane traffic, Kodiak Delta Foxtrot Delta is taxiing runway. Let's see, which runway would it be? I would say that we're gonna taxi runway 08 because that's the one. That's the end of the runway. That's release the parking brakes. Turn right. I want to get rid of potential cargo here because we don't need that. Let's get rid of the co-pilot. We don't need that. No cargo in here. Fuel is good. Adjust the NG value to go to 28. That's okay. So looking at the map here, fortunately we're not going to have to go a whole to fly into this weather here. The radar shows that we have some intense weather at this place here, and right there, but I hope this is not where we're going to have to go. I think we're going to fly in this direction here later on. Down there is the airport of Goroka, which is the home of Ryan's Ethnos 360. What the heck is happening here? Almost running into the fence. Line up. Again, final check. Flaps are down. Let's go to high idle. Props are full forward. Nose trim is there. We did make the altimeter check, so we're good to go. Kodiak Delta Foxtrot Delta. Nomane traffic. Kodiak Delta Foxtrot Delta is taking off runway 08. Southbound departure. Nomane. There is a little bit of a curve in here, as you can see. We're going to roll to the left. 60, 70, and rotate. It's easy. Alrighty, I had to make a little break here. Let's resume. So we're, oh man, I forgot to put on the hat. Otherwise I'm not going to be able to move my head around. Here we go. Okay, since we are supposed... I'm going to have to reduce the volume here. Since we're supposed to be flying right here, let's zoom in. This is our destination right there. It's not that far away. But the weather is not too great. Raise the flaps. We're going to have to fly above this ridge here. Oh, you know what we could do, actually? Fly through the valley here. Because that is beautiful. Just fly through the valley. Stay below the clouds. Have a little nice sightseeing trip here. We can raise the flaps entirely. Because just look at this. I mean, this is really awesome. It looks so fantastic. So why not just fly through the valley here? Yeah, it's alright. Stop moaning. It's so beautiful. We should be flying through the canyon. So I would say that the add-on that Ken Hall created, all the add-ons that he created, all the airfields that he made for these packs. I mean, they're still there. He still put in quite a bit of work in each one of them. So I understand that he wants to be compensated in some way for this, but the problem that I have really is, I mean, there are worse add-ons out there, of course, but there are also quite a couple of add-ons that are way more immersive than the stuff that he does. And they don't cost anything. So the benchmark is pretty high, I would say. And that makes it difficult for me to accept the price tag. It's still a whole lot better. Don't get me wrong here. It's still a whole lot better than the stuff that you get from Asobo from Microsoft, because they're not putting in a whole lot of work for each one of those little airfields. So it wouldn't make sense, because it's most of that stuff is AI generated, and of course they could not possibly hand model each one of the hundreds of thousands of airfields that exist in the world. So it's a blessing to have add-on developers taking care of this, especially in the areas that you really like to fly in. Papua New Guinea is one of those. But still, you know what I mean. So let's continue to fly through this awesome little valley here. Just move around, take a look at the canyons, and then climb up and try to land at the other airport of Kora. That's the next one. And we're going to try to stay below the cloud cover, because we're not doing IFR today. And of course these little airstrips do not support IFR either, so it would not make any sense. Yeah, the cloud cover is pretty obvious, so it works quite well to stay below the clouds and fly through this canyon. That is perfect. And let's hope for the best that this area is not going to be entirely shrouded in clouds, because then it's going to be a challenge to land. There is a nice river down there. And then a nice little canyon as well. Generally, Papua New Guinea is one of the most awesome places, one of the awesomest places in the whole wild world to actually fly over. Okay, let's make a left turn here and try to get a glimpse of the actual airfield. We can lose some speed here. We're almost at 170 knots. That's a little bit too much, but it looks like there might be the airfield. This looks pretty much like it. Yeah. And I think that we're also coming indirectly at a direction, in a direction that might be a good approach. I would suggest that this airfield is also sloped. We're going to lower the flaps here, but we're going to do a flyover as usual to try to take a to try to get an impression from the air, and then we're going to actually land. Oh, by the way, today as you can see, we're flying in a Kodiak. Oh, man, am I mistaken here? I am mistaken. That's the that's the wrong airport that we're looking at here. Holy dude. Let's make a quick left turn here and see. Somewhere I seem to have missed the other airport. Might be up here. That's what happens if you don't pay full attention. There's the actual runway. So it seems to be another sloped runway. Not a big deal. Lower the flaps even further. I know we're too quick, but that looks like a nice runway, really. But there's one big problem here. There is a tree in the middle of the runway. What the heck? Ken, dude, you should get rid of that tree. That doesn't belong here. Okay. Let's increase the speed here. Make a circuit. Reset the trim. We do have almost no winds at all, so actually landing will probably not be a challenge. And then let's make a tight left turn. Lose some airspeed. Yep, there it is. And lower the flaps fully to 30 degrees. Since we're pretty light, we don't have any cargo and any other passengers. It should not be too much of a big deal to land here, but I'm still not going to drop below 70 knots because I've had a couple of issues with the Kodiak with slow flying performance. I'm not sure if it's my fault. It probably is, but the Kodiak behaves increasingly difficult when you're not. Oh, there we go. Oh, yep. Come on. Yeah, that tree here is not helpful at all. That one needs to go. It's kind of in the middle of, well, it's not in the middle of the runway, but it is, it might be a bit of a problem. Okay. Let's park there at the end of the runway. Turn around, because this is the direction that we're going to depart. Okay, let's put in the parking brake and reduce to low idle. And take a look at the airfield from outside, right? Unfortunately, the weather is not completely nice. Lots of clouds, but still. There's a guy down here tending to the chicken. I am missing an airport sign. Did Ken forget to add a sign here? He probably did. I cannot see any. There's another guy standing out and about. A couple of animals and another guy. I'm always trying to look for something special that is not there at other airports. Sometimes you might even get some kind of Easter egg or something, but unfortunately there isn't any. There is nothing of that sort at all. And no airport sign at this place. The trees have been cut down for the approach, which is nice. So apart from that odd tree here, landing at this place is not much of a big deal, as you have seen, but it's dangerous to have that one. Okay. Oh, there's the airports. No, there's no airport sign. I thought that one would be it. There's a couple of fuel drums. But apart from that, let's go up a little bit here. Well, that's it, you know. There are a couple of more huts over there. But apart from that, it's pretty standard. So nothing special happening. Let's get back into the plane and head to the next destination. That would be, which is just 2.2 miles away. Not really that far. Guwasa Airport, Alpha Yankee Golf Whiskey. Flight plan menu, delete. And we're going to directly go to Alpha Yankee Golf Whiskey. Okay. As you can see, it's just 2 miles away, so we're just going to turn around, fly above the ridge behind us, and then drop onto the next airport. So that might actually be the one that I was mistaking for Kora. Let's go back to high idle, props up full forward, laps to 20. Trim should go back to take off. Almost, there we go. Altimeter is set. Lights are on, generator on, and all that. Okay, so we're good to go. As you can see, the runway also has a little curve here, a little turn. It's turning to the right slightly. No big deal. We can work with that, but still interesting. All right, let's get as far away from the tree as possible. There's 50 knots, 60 knot, and rotate. Raise the flaps 1 notch. And turn around, and then take a look at the next airfield in the series. Yeah, I guess that's the one that I mistook for Kora. So, yeah, I know. Stop moaning. Raising the flaps. Otherwise, we're going to be yelled at by the system. So let's make a quick flyover and take a look at what the airfield looks like. If it's clear, I don't expect any animals to be there. That would be also a nice addition to these airfields. If you'd have some real reason to do a flyover and make sure that the runway is not occupied by some animals or other kinds of traffic, human traffic, car traffic, whatever. It would be interesting to have some kind of obstacles in the way that you need to deal with. I'm not talking about trees. Obviously, trees are not the interesting part. What would be interesting is if you had dogs, cats, chicken, and pigs running all over the place. And maybe some bird activity that will lead to bird strikes. So I'm gonna lower the flaps. Okay, still looks nice. I especially like this area, the parking lot here at the end of the runway. That looks pretty nice. So let's make a left circuit and make sure we're not gonna stall the Kodiak. Happened to me before quite often. So obviously this is also the only way to approach the airfield is from this side here, coming from the north, because there's just too much in the way to properly land there. And we also have a bit of a slope, I would say. Yep. It's the way it is. Okay. Slide to the right here for a bit and then make a steep left turn, a tight left turn. Lower the flaps even further to 20 degrees. And make our left turn. Not below 70 knots, just to make sure that we don't make any mistakes here. That's one of the few things that are a little bit more difficult in the Kodiak than, for example, in an Islander. There's always some kind of delay if you want to adjust the throttle and all that. You're always going to have a little bit of a delay with the turboprop, so you're going to have to think ahead and just do a nice, proper, stable approach. Otherwise, it's not easy to deal with an engine that does not instantly react to the things that you do. go. Was good. Nice landing. Let's go to the end of the runway. Yeah, it's also a little bit sloped. Not too bad, but still enough that it only makes sense to take off and land in one direction. As you can see right there, there's the slope. You can see it, the angle here. It's a down slope in this direction. So let's go back to low idle. Here, put in the parking brakes. Step out of the plane, or rather fly out of the plane, and zoom in. It's the height of the drone here. There's a Pilatus Porter standing right there. He's always, I believe Ken is always using the same porter for all of the airfields where he puts this. There's another hut that's empty, but there are a couple of fuel drums. Some more huts. Some more buildings here. Nothing too exciting, but also nothing to be afraid of. There's somebody standing here and doing something with the wood, maybe, I guess. There's another one of those completely useless lawnmowers, at least when it comes to maintenance of the airfield, because the airfields need to be mowed. The grass needs to be short and useful. Let's see if we can find something special around here. Unfortunately not. So, I would say let's get back into the plane. Okay. The next airport in the flight plan is Meninga Airstrip, Alpha Yankee Echo Golf. Flight plan menu, delete flight plan, and direct to Alpha Yankee. What was it? Echo Golf. Yep, that's right. Since the airport is only 6 miles away, we're not going to even have to use the autopilot. Let's get to the top of the runway. Flaps are at 20. The trim is good for takeoff, I guess. We don't really need anything special. And let's put in the altimeter values, and we're good to go. High idle, prop full forward. So, but there's one thing about all of the airfields from Ken. Most of them are really approachable. Most of them are have a nice surface. They all the actual runways look nice. The airstrips look nice. You can easily land on them, take off from them. They're the corridor that you can roll through, that you can taxi through, is perfect. You always have these kinds of I don't know, indicators, some kind of markings that you know where the runway actually goes, and so that's nice. I am going to have the torque build up here and then take off. Airspeed's alive. 30, 40, 50, 60, and pull on the yoke, and there we go. So once we've gained a little bit of altitude, raise the flaps already. Once we've gained a little bit of altitude, we're going to turn left after these hills here to the left. Okay, let's try to stay below the cloud cover. It won't do us any good anyway. We're also not going to have to fly it really quick. I'll pull back on the throttle. Let's fly to the right and stay and lose a bit of altitude here. Just stay below the cloud layer. Meninga should be in the valley coming up on the left-hand side. So there's a good chance that we're not going to have to deal with the clouds because it's low enough below the layer. Let's see. Should be somewhere here. There it is. There is Meninga. So reduce the throttle. We still have 10 degrees of flaps. That's okay. I never raised them fully because the distance is so short. Okay, looking at the wind situation, there's almost nothing going on here, so it wouldn't make any difference on from which direction we actually approach this airfield. But looking at the surroundings, I would say that this approach from this side might be the right way to go, because there is a big obstacle here on the other side, which is the hill. So let's fly a left circuit here over the hill, go to the left downwind here over the other side, and then make a short final approach. Let's slow the flaps to 20. Yeah, it looks pretty nice from above. But of course it wouldn't have, I would say that it wouldn't have been necessary to cut away all these trees, because you're not going to approach from this side anyway. It doesn't make any sense to me, so there would not have been a need to cut away all these trees. On that side, sure, because they would be in the way of actually landing and approaching, but the other ones could have lived on. I'm not sure about the slope here. I don't think there is a significant slope on this airfield, but we'll see about that. I think we're going to turn left here, but not do the final approach immediately, but kind of fly an 8, go over there, then make a right turn, and then fly in from this side here. That might make things a little bit more convenient and less hectic. Prop is full forward. Flaps are at 20 right now. We're going to lower the flaps fully once we are on short final. So let's turn around and make a tight right turn. Always taking a look at the speed, what's it called? I don't know, there's a word for this. At the speed, it's not a speed dial. At the speed strip, maybe. I don't know. The indicator for the speed. Lower the speed as quickly as possible. Lower the flaps to 30 degrees. But let's not go below 70 knots, just to make sure. So this is going to be a steep descent. The trees here on the left are in the way a little bit. Not a big deal, but we're going to have to make sure that we don't hit any one of those. Here we go. Okie dokie. We don't even need a... what's it called? The reverser. Yeah, we do have a bit of an upslope here. Nothing too dramatic, but noticeable. If you'd be so kind to take a look at this house, this side is... these little legs here are longer than these, so you can see right there that there is a bit of a slope. We're going to turn around here at the end of the runway, because we'll be taking off in the other direction as usual, and then use our drone. Okay, low idle, parking brake, and the camera. Oh. So there's my little Kodiak. Again, I think that in Pack 3, Ken kind of forgot to install the airfields, the signs that would tell you what kind of airfield this is, the altitude and all that. So there's another one of those nice models. I really think that these models look awesome, but they're all the same, and that's what bothers me. He didn't add variety. There's some more fuel. There is another hut. And another hut. And somebody taking care of the animals. And another guy taking care of animals here. Some even more animals and a whole lot more animals. And even more animals that should rather run around on the airfield. And there are no animals, but a little. Oh yes, there are animals. So yes, there are quite a lot of animals here all over the place, which is okay, which looks pretty nice. But you know, could have been more detailed. More. So back in the Kodiak. What is happening here? Okay. Next airport is actually, it's quite far away. It's 15 nautical miles. It's almost, that almost is worth activating the autopilot. The next airport will be Herowenaq airstrip. Yep. And that one has the ICAO code Alpha Yankee Hotel X-ray. So let's change the flight plan, or delete the old one actually. Yep, there we go, direct to Alpha. Alpha Yankee Hotel and X-ray. Okay, 50 nautical miles, so we're good to go. Trim still looks good. We're gonna raise the flaps to 20 degrees. Go to high idle, prop full forward. And altimeter setting is still good. Let's go, dude. Let's do it. Build up some torque. Trim the rudder 50% right. $50, $60, and we can already pull back on the yoke. $85 knots, raise the flaps. So we're gonna, let's see what we're gonna do. We could, I think that we're gonna be able to make a right turn and climb just up here. Should not be a big problem. There aren't really any valleys that we could follow that would make any sense. Oh yes, there is. We could use that one. Raise the flaps fully. We're at 100 knots. Let's see if we can stay below the cloud layer. Not completely as it seems, but we'll do our best. Yes. Nope, no way to get out of here without entering the cloud layer. Nothing we can do about that. So let's activate the autopilot. I think we're good. Climbing to 9,000. It should actually... Well, what the heck is it doing? It's trying to be smart, but it isn't. I think we're going to increase the climb rate here a little bit to 1,600, just to make sure we don't hit any of these mountains. I'm going to fly manually. Reset the rudder trim. We're climbing with 2,000 feet per minute. The Kodiak really is an awesome plane. It can do so much with all the power it has. So I could go back to 2,000 RPM to not overly stress the engine if it's not necessary. We have reached... I think I'm going to raise the target altitude for to 10,000 here as well. So the autopilot should be good to go. Let's put in some rudder trim. That was a little bit too much. Here we go. Yep, unfortunately we're in the cloud layer now. That's not entirely... That's not really great. I don't think that we're going to crash into mountains. Currently, the synthetic vision is telling me that we're quite above the ground, yet we also should have some ability to show the radar altitude, I think. I'm not sure how to activate this here. All units, standard parameter. Go back. Well, it doesn't really matter. We're still high enough. I'm going to activate pitot heat here because obviously we're only at 10 degrees Celsius. I'm not sure how. Oh, 3 miles to go. I think we could go ahead and try to lower our altitude here. Make sure we're not going to crash into the mountains. I can see the airfield up ahead here. Look at that. We can see it through the cloud layer. We're too fast. Holy cow. Close to overspeeding. So let's take a look at this airfield from above. It kind of looks nice, I guess, as usual. Nothing too fancy, but I think the appropriate... It also has a couple of weird turns here. It looks like an S, like an S. But I think we're going to approach from the other side. This looks like another airfield, but it does not. Oh, that looks like an airfield. That's not the one that we're gonna land at, but it might be another airfield in real life. But there's nothing showing up on the map, as you can see. But that might be an airfield. Yes, it probably is. Okay. We're at 138 knots, so let's make a left turn here. And then make sure that we have enough room to operate and find ourselves a nice approach for the airfield. There's not a whole lot, as you can see, when it comes to wind. Exactly 0 crosswind, 0 headwind. It's almost boring. Okay, let's reduce the speed. There is the airfield that we're supposed to land at. Lower the flaps. Yeah, it's a weird S. Lower the flaps to 20 degrees. Prop full forward. Flaps to 30 degrees and slowly and steadily approach the airfield. Let's go below 70 knots. Let's go below 80 knots, but not below 70. Only very little adjustments necessary on the throttle once you've found the right setting, the right angle. Consistency is key here, because otherwise, I mean, looking at the way these engines are reacting to input with all the delay that you can experience from these engines, it makes sense to move the lever only very slightly. So pull back on the power entirely, flare, and touchdown. Burst just to make sure. Okay, I would say we did land quite nicely. Now we're on a downslope. Interesting little airport. Airfield, rather. If I let this thing roll, we're going to crash into the bushes there. So let's turn around. And for takeoff, we're going to have to go upslope initially, but then I think we'll be able to pick up enough speed. So, parking brakes, low idle, and switch the camera. Go to the drone camera. Disable track R. Yeah. Same models. Same stuff happening here. No aircraft, no airfield signs. I think I said it a couple of minutes before. I think that Ken forgot to add these signs in pack 3. He did add them in pack 2, but he didn't put them in pack 1 and 3, so it's a bit of an omission. More huts, more clothes hanging out to dry. A couple of people as usual to take care of the animals, but still it's rather boring. A couple of guys standing discussing the latest gossip, possibly. But the huts are empty. Yeah, well. So that is the airfield of Herowenaq. Let's get back into the plane. Set up the takeoff. I think that we want to raise the flaps to 20. Takeoff setting is the takeoff trim is good enough for me almost. Flaps full forward, prop full forward and high idle. And now we're going to increase the torque to the maximum amount possible before we actually start rolling, to make sure that we accelerate as quickly as possible. Let's put in some rudder trim here. Yeah, this shouldn't be a big deal. We should be fine here. 50, 60, 70, and rotate. Oh, I forgot to set the next airfield, the autopilot, but it's not really that far, so just another 12 miles to Gimi airstrip. And Gimi is to the left. Raise the flaps. Reduce to 2000 RPM. Here we go. Raise the flaps fully. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna fly through valleys here, if that makes sense. It might. I'm not sure. It doesn't really make too much sense. But anyway, we're gonna fly through this gap here. No autopilot. But of course I could put in our destination here into the Garmin system. Delete the flight plan, and we're going to go directly to Alpha Yankee Golf Delta. Alpha Yankee Golf Delta. Gimi airstrip. Okay. So as you can see, it's not that far away. We're going to fly around this little peak here and go to the right. Okay, just 3 miles to go. So we already should be able to see the runway right there up ahead. This is it. As usual, we are going to make a flyover. I will increase prop to full forward and lower the speed quite a bit. Okay, looking at the how this strip is, in which direction it is pointing, and what kind of obstacles we have in the way, I would say that the appropriate direction of arrival would be this here, or yeah, I guess, because there is too much stuff in the way. We're gonna make a right turn. It looks nice, actually, with the fence. Let's lower the flaps to 20. Flaps to 20, please. Yeah, I know. Stop moaning. Okay, let's make a right turn. Lower the flaps to 20. Let's zoom in a little. So there is the airfield. Let's make a nice, smooth, slow approach on runway 02. I don't really like those trees here that are in the way, but maybe we're lucky and that might work. Might work. We'll reduce the speed even farther. We're quite a little bit too fast, but the Kodiak can lose speed rather quickly. Lower the flaps to 30 degrees. Trim the nose up a little bit. Make sure we don't lose speed too quickly. Stay above 70 knots. That looks nice. That looks good. Nice and good and all that. So, flare, touchdown. Okay. Raise the flaps to 20. Always forget that after touchdown. Second to last airfield on this leg on this video. Take out the drone, reduce to low idle, hit the parking brakes, and step out of the plane. Showcase. Okay. If you ask me, there are a couple of more animals. Somebody feeding these animals. Same models all over the place. No airport sign. A couple more animals. Even more animals. A couple front porches. A couple of guys sitting here feeding animals. And a nice little hut between some rocks. Oh man, these rocks really don't look too awesome. I don't know what's happening to them. The LOD, there seems to be a problem with LOD. So anyway, you've seen it. The same things happening here. Oh, wait a second. There are more huts over there. Look at that. And over there. But I don't think they belong to this particular place here. Maybe they do, but they're all the same. So back into the plane. And let's configure the last flight for this stint. Hit the menu button, delete the flight plan. Go directly to the airfield of, what's the next one? Simogu, Alpha Yankee, Quebec, Mike. Quebec, Mike. There we go. Okay, like 20 miles away. Let's do the routine. High idled, prop full forward. 20 degrees of flaps. Reset the altimeter to the current value. The nose trim, the takeoff trim still looks pretty good to me. Put in some right rudder. And there we go. Release the parking brakes. Increase the torque until we hit the yellow area. And make it proper airspeeds alive, proper takeoff. 40, 50, 60, and pull back on the yoke. Okay, we can make an instant left turn. Get out of the circuit here. Raise the flaps. Raise the flaps fully. We're going to fly at an altitude of 10,000 feet. That's all right with me. So let's activate the autopilot. Should bring us right to our destination. Reduce the RPM to 2,000. Here we go. Right? Good stuff, good stuff. We can go ahead and reset the rudder trim. Vertical speed to 1200. And we're going to fly into the cloud layer here, but that's not a big problem. Looking at the fact that Simogu Airport is pretty high up here, I want to show you on the map real quick. We're coming up. We're coming down from the top left, and there is Simogu. It is quite high up here at about 5,000 feet. So, yeah, you know what I mean. Or you maybe don't, but there's nothing that I could add to make all of this a little bit more understandable. If you're not interested in aviation, you're not gonna pay attention anyway. But if you're interested in aviation, you're gonna understand that it makes sense to fly at a certain altitude, first of all, because the fuel consumption is lower depending on the kind of engine that you're using, and also it is safer because the chance of obstacles in the way is lower. And third, you have the ability to, if you're flying higher, you have the ability to fly above the cloud layer, so you're going to be able to see a whole lot more, which means that your safety is increased. And fourth, for crying out loud, it's nice to look at blue skies, right? Blue skies and beautiful marshmallow clouds. "10 miles to go." We could already start our descent here, but I'm just too lazy to do that. We're at 10,000 feet, and you can still see some of these peaks here peeking out of the cloud layer. So the Highlands have gotten their name for a good reason, because they're high, obviously. Ooh, I'm sorry. I had a long and beautiful day in the sun. Me and my family went to some kind of holiday park with all kinds of awesome rides, roller coaster rides and all that. So it was a busy and quite enjoyable day. But it was hot. It was really hot. The autopilot showed it. Did I put in some? Oh yes, I did. 10,500. Yeah. I think we can already start our descent. And I'll fly manually, and we're gonna snake our way through the cloud layer here and find some openings. Well, we should be able to see our little airfield pretty soon, where we're supposed to land. It's on the right hand side somewhere at 2 o'clock. Oh, there it is. You can see it on the radar. Okay. Oh, there it is. Can we see it outside? Down there somewhere. How far ahead is it? Oh, that might actually be in the cloud layer. Possibly. I cannot yet see it. Oh, there it is. Right? No. That is not the airfield we're looking for. That's too far away. So we're looking at something at our 2 o'clock blow up. Right there. Where the heck is it? Should be right below us. Huh? I don't see anything. Oh, there it is. Holy moly. Let's make a quick left turn. Reduce the airspeed. As much as possible. Okay. I would say there is... You could actually approach from both sides probably, but I'd expect the preferred direction to be from this side here, because there's less in the way. Okay. We're a little bit too quick here. Prop full forward. Reduce the airspeed as quickly as possible. Flaps to 20. Flaps to 30. We're a little bit too slow here. Fortunately, the Kodiak does not instantly stall. Here, you have a little bit of leeway here, but we're still too slow. What's happening? There's a tree in the way. There we go. Flare. That was actually a little bit too rough for my taste. But the reason was I was too slow. It was difficult to adjust the descent rate here if you're so slow. There is another Pilatus Porter. Alright, I'm gonna park up here. It's difficult to turn this thing around here, but there it is. I'm gonna put in some reverser to properly park here and not have our nose stick out in front too much, so if somebody else is gonna land here. Parking brake is set. Shut off, cut off, shut down. Turn off the avionics, turn off the lights, pitot heat, turn off. Turn off all of this. And make sure fuel can't flow. Okay. Now let's get back to the external view and the showcase. Oh, look at that. How beautifully I have parked that plane. Is that not awesome? Okay. Turn off tracker. Final airfield of Pack 3. You know, oh, these huts. I'm not sure if we have seen this particular brand of hut yet. But there's nothing in there. The opening is pretty dark. It's textured. You cannot take a look inside the hut. Why ever? I don't understand that. So, yeah, but at least we have a new variety of hut. Supporter. It's the flaps. I don't care. There's someone pondering the meaning of life. Couple more huts. Yeah, we do have a bit of slope as you can see right there. And a couple more animals. I'm not sure of the, well, you know, let's do some real talk here. I am not sure that this fence is actually gonna keep the animals from leaving this particular stall here. I'm not sure. I can't see any kind of wires, so that would be rather easy to escape. Yeah, well, that's basically it, you know. That was pack 3. We will be reviewing the final pack number 4 next week. And then I'll quickly give you a glimpse of what is going to be shown in the next video. We're going to start at Gimi airstrip right there. Well, let's make sure. Let's make sure Nomane. Yeah, we're at Simogu. Okay, so we didn't miss anything. Simogu. And so we're going to start at Gimi airstrip. Fly to Wuyabo airstrip. And all these little other airstrips here. These are going to be the last couple of airstrips of the final pack. So there's going to be some more things to explore. Looking forward to that. Until then, have a good time. I hope you have nice people around you, and be good. Take care.